The WA called my dog dangerous, they threatened to fine me, even kick me out of my own home. They didn't care that he was my best friend, my family. Pause, softer. But when the Hoa's own children were in danger, the very dog they hated became their savior. Dramatic beat. This is the story of how love, loyalty, and justice proved that my dog was never the danger, he was the hero. I had lived in my neighborhood for only 6 months when the WA decided to wage war, not against me, but against my dog, Max. Max wasn't just a pet. He was family. A golden retriever with soft brown eyes, a wagging tail that never stopped, and a heart so pure it could melt anyone, except, apparently, the WA. It started with a letter. Cold, sharp words on paper. Your dog poses a threat to the safety of the community. Remove him immediately or face fines of $500 per week. I was stunned. Max. Dangerous. The same dog who slept at my daughter's feet every night, who carried her teddy bear gently in his mouth when she cried, who licked away her tears when she was scared. I tried reasoning with the WA president, Mrs. Clark. She was stern, her lips pursed as if smiling was a sin. Your dog is too large, she said. He looks threatening. We've had complaints. Complaints? I asked. From who? Max has never harmed anyone. Rules are rules, she snapped. If you don't comply, you'll regret it. The words cut deep. But deeper still was the fear of losing Max. My daughter clung to him, whispering, they can't take you away, right? My chest ached as I hugged them both. But the fines started. $500, then $1,000. Neighbors began avoiding me, whispering behind closed doors. I was being painted as reckless, someone harboring a dangerous animal. At night, I lay awake, Max's head resting on my chest, his eyes full of trust. I whispered into his fur, they don't know you, buddy. They don't know how much you mean to us. And I promise, I won't let them take you. The battle with the WA escalated. They threatened legal action, even hinted at eviction. Every time I walked Max, their eyes followed us like hawks. My daughter cried when I had to leash him tightly, as if love itself was being chained. But the more they pushed, the more determined I became. I gathered letters from neighbors who did love Max. Kids from the block wrote notes, Max is the best dog ever. One little boy drew a crayon picture of Max with the words, hero dog. I sent them all to the HOA. They ignored it. Then, one Saturday afternoon, fate stepped in. The WA had organized a family picnic at the clubhouse park. Children ran across the grass, parents chatted, and the board members strutted proudly, as if they owned not just the houses but the people in them. Max and I stayed home. But as the sun set, a scream pierced the air. Then another. Shouts, chaos. I ran outside. From the park, people were waving frantically. Children had been playing near the small pond at the edge of the property, and 2 little boys had slipped into the water. Their mother screamed, frozen in shock. The WA board scrambled, shouting orders, but no one moved fast enough. Before I even realized it, Max bolted. He sprinted across the grass, ears back, muscles coiled with purpose. In seconds, he was in the water. Max swam like lightning, his paws cutting through the water. He reached the first boy, grabbing the back of his shirt gently in his jaws, and pulled him to the shore. The crowd gasped. Then, without hesitation, Max dove back in. The second child was sinking fast, tiny arms flailing. Max reached him, nudged him upward, and pushed with every ounce of strength until the boy's head broke the surface. By the time I reached the edge of the pond, Max was dragging the boy toward me. I lifted the child out as Max scrambled onto the grass, soaking wet, panting, tail wagging furiously. The mother collapsed to her knees, clutching both boys, sobbing. Thank you, she cried. But she wasn't looking at me, she was looking at Max. And suddenly, the crowd began to cheer. Children ran to pet him, shouting, Max is a hero. Even the stern-faced WA president stood frozen, her mouth open, her authority crumbling in the face of undeniable truth. The next day, another letter arrived. But this time, it wasn't a fine. It was an apology. The WA retracts its claim that your dog is dangerous. His bravery is recognized and deeply appreciated by the community. But the real victory wasn't the letter, it was the way the neighborhood changed. Everywhere we went, Max was greeted with smiles. Families invited us to cookouts, children begged to play with him, and even Mrs. Clark softened, though she could barely admit it. On the 4th of July, the WA held a celebration. And this time, at the center of the event wasn't a board member, or a rule, or a fine. It was Max, wearing a shiny new tag that read, Community Hero. As fireworks exploded overhead, my daughter hugged him tight. "See, Daddy, I told you Max was the best." And I realized then, justice doesn't always come from fighting. Sometimes, it comes from love proving itself in the most undeniable way. Max wasn't the danger. He was the protector. The family member we couldn't live without. And no law, no matter how cruel, could ever take that away.